The year 1947, a year that would forever change the course of history for the Indian subcontinent. It was a time of great upheaval, a time when the winds of change blew fiercely across the land, carrying with them the hopes and fears of millions. A date etched in the memory of India and Pakistan. The partition of 1947 was not just a political event, it was a seismic shift that reverberated through the lives of countless individuals. It was a moment that would leave an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of two nations. It marked a brutal division, cleaving a nation into two. The lines drawn on the map were not just geographical, they were lines that cut through the very fabric of society, dividing communities, friends and families. The partition was a wound that would take generations to heal. This wasn't just about borders on a map, it was about the lives that were irrevocably changed. It was about the dreams that were shattered and the futures that were uncertain. The partition was a human tragedy on an unprecedented scale. It was about lives torn apart. Families were shattered, homes were abandoned. The partition forced millions to leave behind everything they had ever known, to embark on a journey into the unknown. It was a time of immense suffering and hardship. Intizar Husain throws us right into this chaos. His work captures the essence of the partition, the pain, the loss, and the resilience of those who lived through it. Through his words, we are transported to a time of great turmoil and uncertainty. It's a story about survival. It's about the strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. The partition was a test of endurance, a test that many did not survive, but those who did emerged stronger and more resilient. It's about the enduring spirit of those who lost everything. Despite the immense loss and suffering, there were stories of hope and resilience. People found ways to rebuild their lives, to start over, and to find a sense of normalcy in the midst of chaos. Doesn't hold back. It delves deep into the heart of the partition, exposing the raw and painful truth that many would rather forget. It is a powerful reminder of the human cost of division. It paints a raw and honest picture of the partition's chaos. The scenes of chaos and confusion, of people desperately trying to find their way, are a stark reminder of the human toll of the partition. It was a time of great uncertainty and fear. We see the desperation in the eyes of refugees. The exhaustion, the fear, and the uncertainty are palpable. These were people who had lost everything, who were forced to leave behind their homes, their belongings, and their way of life. We feel the fear that clung to them like a shroud, the fear of the unknown, the fear of what lay ahead, and the fear of never being able to return to the life they once knew. It was a time of great anxiety and apprehension. This is a story that needed to be told. The partition is a chapter in history that must not be forgotten. It is a story of pain and loss, but also of resilience and hope. It is a story that reminds us of the strength of the human spirit. It's a stark reminder of the human cost of division. The partition was a tragedy that affected millions, but it is also a testament to the resilience and strength of those who lived through it. It is a story that must be remembered so that we may learn from the past and strive for a better future. Before the storm, there was Rupnagar. Imagine a place where life moved at a different pace, where everyone knew their neighbors. Hindus, Sikhs and Muslims lived side by side. This was Zakir's childhood home, a place of peace and harmony. In Rupnagar represents a lost innocence. It's a reminder of a time when things were simpler. Zakir often finds himself drifting back to these memories. They offer a stark contrast to the harsh realities he faces now. The winds of change swept across the land, carrying with them an air of foreboding. The once serene skies of Rupnagar were now overshadowed by ominous clouds, signaling the turmoil that was about to unfold. The winds of change brought with them the stench of fear, a palpable sense of dread that gripped the hearts of the people. Families huddled together, their faces etched with anxiety as the sounds of conflict drew nearer. The harmony of Rupnagar was shattered, its once vibrant streets now lying in ruins. Homes that had stood for generations were reduced to rubble, and the echoes of laughter and joy were replaced by the haunting silence of destruction. The partition's violence erupted with a ferocity that no one could have anticipated. Zakir and his family, like countless others, were forced to flee their ancestral home. They gathered what little they could carry, their hearts heavy with sorrow and uncertainty. They joined the countless refugees on a perilous journey to a new land, a journey fraught with danger and hardship. The train stations were overwhelmed with desperate souls. each one carrying the weight of their shattered dreams and lost lives. This wasn't just a physical journey, it was an emotional and spiritual one. Every step they took was a step away from the life they had known and a step into an uncertain future. The rough terrain mirrored the tumultuous path their lives had taken. The emotional toll was immense. Faces that once radiated hope and happiness were now marked by sorrow and despair. In the midst of the chaos, people turned to prayer, seeking solace and strength in their faith. Zakir witnessed horrors that would scar him forever. The violence was not just physical, it was a deep emotional wound that would take a lifetime to heal. The graphic aftermath of the conflict was a constant reminder of the brutality that had torn their world apart. The violence chipped away at his faith in humanity. The scenes of distrust and disillusionment were everywhere. People who had once lived in harmony now looked at each other with suspicion and fear. The bonds of community were frayed, and the sense of unity was lost. It left him questioning everything he thought he knew. In moments of deep contemplation, Zakir found himself reflecting on the nature of humanity, the fragility of peace, and the resilience of the human spirit. The reflections in the eyes of the elderly told stories of a time before the violence, a time that now seemed like a distant memory. Amidst the ruins, there were still glimmers of hope. Children, resilient and innocent, played amidst the rubble, their laughter a stark contrast to the devastation around them. They were the embodiment of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the human spirit could find a way to endure and rebuild. Slowly, the community began to come together, helping each other rebuild their lives. Acts of kindness and solidarity emerged as people shared what little they had and supported one another. It was a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit and the unbreakable bonds of community. As the sun rose over the rebuilt village, it symbolized new beginnings. The journey had been long and arduous, but it had also been a journey of resilience, hope, and the unyielding will to survive. Rupnagar, though scarred, stood as a testament to the strength and perseverance of its people. Zakir and his family found themselves in Lahore, a new and unfamiliar city. They were strangers in a strange land, struggling to rebuild their lives. The pain of displacement was overwhelming. Lahore, once a symbol of hope, became a constant reminder of what they had lost. Zakir grappled with his identity. The life he knew was gone, replaced by uncertainty and a profound sense of rootlessness. Section 5. Whispers of the past, memory and trauma. The past wasn't something Zakir could leave behind. Memories of Rupnagar, both beautiful and haunting, continued to surface. They appeared in his dreams, vivid and unsettling. The trauma of partition manifested in unexpected ways. It affected his relationships, his work, his entire outlook on life. Zakir wasn't alone in this. Countless others carried the invisible scars of that turbulent period. Section 6. The weight of loss and longing. Loss permeates every page, of the loss of home, of loved ones, of innocence. It's a weight that Zakir carries on his shoulders. He yearns for the familiar rhythms of his old life. This longing wasn't just for a physical place, it was for a sense of belonging, a longing for a time when the world made sense. Zakir's story is a poignant reminder that some wounds never truly heal. Section 7. Seeking solace, finding disillusionment. Zakir desperately sought solace. He found it in fleeting moments of connection, in conversations with fellow survivors who understood his pain, but even these moments couldn't erase the past. Disillusionment set in. The promise of a new beginning felt hollow. The scars of partition ran deep, impacting every aspect of their lives. Section 8. Echoes of 1971. The cycle continues. The year 1971 brought with it a new wave of turmoil. The Bangladesh Liberation War erupted, mirroring the violence of 1947. This wasn't just history repeating itself. It was a stark reminder that the cycle of violence continued. For Zakir, it was a cruel reminder that some wounds never truly heal. The events of 1971 reopened old wounds. They forced him to confront the unresolved trauma of his past. Section 9, A Timeless Tale of Loss and Resilience, is more than just a historical novel. It delves deep into the emotional and psychological impact of one of the most tumultuous periods in history. The partition of a nation not only divided lands but also tore apart families, friendships and communities. The pain and suffering experienced by millions are captured in this narrative, making it a poignant reminder of the cost of conflict. It's a timeless exploration of the human condition. The story transcends time and place, resonating with anyone who has faced loss and hardship. It speaks to the universal experiences of grief, displacement, and the search for identity. Through the eyes of its characters, we see the raw and unfiltered emotions that come with such profound changes. It highlights the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. The characters in this tale are not just victims of their circumstances, they are survivors. They find strength